is Rowena Dooley asking Soul citizens to report for duty.
What does it take to build a symphony? It takes a blueprint. 4 movements that will dictate key, tempo, and the arrangement of musical notes that will create harmonies, melodies. It takes an orchestra. Master technicians of their craft, working in perfect unity to transform notes into sound and those sounds into an experience. But most of all, it takes emotion. A feeling so powerful that it transcends words and must be conveyed in another form. Introducing the new 600i from Origin. A symphony in motion. See your authorized Origin dealer for details.
And greetings. Welcome back to Soul Citizens. I'm GriffinGamingRPG, and we are so happy to have you join us again on a Sunday evening with my illustrious co-host that we have with us today. We have, starting on the far left there, AbdiYohan. Abdi, how you been?
I'm doing all right. Happy to be here.
Good to see you. FC Fastcart, Fastcart FC, whichever way we want to say it. How are you, bud?
Yeah, either way it's fine.
Either way,
everybody, how's everybody doing? I just want to say, Jade might come in and take my place, just letting you know.
Oh, okay. And last but not least, to my left, yoyoMeg. Hi, Yo-Yo.
Hey, yo, what's up?
Good to hear you. Good to see your picture. We've been seeing you, but it's good to see your picture.
Heck yeah.
Listen, guys, you may wonder, why did we open up with that commercial? Well, the reason why is because today you're going to be hearing mostly from Abdi, Fastcart, and Yo-Yo. Griff's not going to talk that much other than just kind of moderating a little. I'm not going to be pitching in on this topic as much, but I could not pass up the opportunity to mention why I love the 600i. That's why we open with that. That's the only time we're going to talk about my ships. Is that people always want to default me
about several other times too. I just know.
People always want to default me to the 890 jump, and it is not. The 890 when I saw it was cool, but I also thought it was out of reach. But the 600, I was like, yeah, I can do that. And you guys have heard this story before. It's the only ship I purchased that I didn't care what it did. I didn't care what was inside of it. All I know is I saw it and I loved that ship, and I bought it without even. I don't even think I even saw the brochure, Abdi. I think I just, you know what I mean? I just saw that ship and it was like, I gotta get that ship. So today's topic is going to be on this topic. I love this ship. Now, there are some qualifiers. There are 9 categories that the co-hosts all had to pick ships from out of their catalog of what they like. They're not necessarily based upon what CIG classifies them as. And the other reason why, particularly Abdi are on here and Yo-Yo, which I appreciate, is that they're both content creators. They're both streamers. They fly these ships in the games. And so even when you guys tune in and watch them, you know, maybe you'll see why they pick the ships that they do when they fly them. They may talk about why they like them even on their streams. And so kind of want to give you guys that as a brief. Now, I'm not throwing Fastcart in because Fastcart stays away from the game because he don't want to spoil it for himself. So I can only talk about
legitimate play.
I can only talk about Yo-Yo
I
and
don't want to become
Abdi.
like Eris, okay? I don't want to become like David from Relay.
Yeah, but Eris is also disconnected because he don't play the game. He's just now getting back into it. See, yeah, actually, he's excited about it. He actually is excited. So
Wow, look at Griff throwing Fastcart under the Banu Merchantman.
yeah, that's what we're doing under the Banu wheels,
No, more like
right?
the whole E. The whole E. That's what he's throwing me under.
Exactly. So we are going to allow them to talk to you guys, and they're going to have their own conversations about these ships. So we're not going to waste any time. Thank you guys for who's here today. I see Pickle Skin, Traven. Who else do I see out there? I saw a whole bunch of people. Pops in Space is out there. Shimpasta is out there. Thank you guys for coming in tonight and sitting in with us on a Sunday. And Jade is out there. Isle Spartan's out there. Cool. New Soul. All right, we got a good group of folks here tonight. Rakazak, thank you for gifting that 1 month sub to Jade. So thank you for that. We appreciate that as well. He's already kicked us off. In fact, you get the first hamburger.
Hey,
Oh, no.
for the subscription.
You get the first whammer of the day, all right? Okay. So me and Yo-Yo are going to change positions because we're going to put this in the right position so you can see who likes what ship, okay? So the first category that everybody was given was exterior design. And please understand, this is strictly about aesthetics, the way a ship looks. And so, Abdi, you're going to kick it off. We're going in alphabetical order while we do this. So why don't we go to what your pick was? By the way, if you guys gave me 2 ships, I only went with 1. Just
fine.
for time's sake, just so you'll know why I did. I wasn't ignoring your second pick, okay? So here we
That's
go.
totally fine.
Abdi, let's go ahead and talk about your pick there, the Terrapin.
The Terrapin. So I'm a graphic designer. I'm not trying to sound like haughty or anything like that, but something that strikes me, especially not just in graphic design, but in illustration and stuff like that, but is a ship that has like a really interesting like motif or like a really interesting like footprint. Even just the silhouette of a ship can be really interesting. Making sure that is unique. And so many ships that you see in sci-fi are just phallic.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And what I really like about the Terrapin is, I mean, it's the turtle, you know, like you see it and you immediately know that what it's doing is it's not supposed to be an attack ship. It's not supposed to be something that you are, you know, dogfighting in. You know exactly that this is the kind of ship that you are going to be doing, like something more defensive. And I love that. What does that word mean? Fastcart. I'm not going to explain that to you. I'll have Griff tell you later.
Okay.
But I think that this ship is it has such a unique profile, such a unique role, and I think the design of it all encompasses that idea of this is something that is meant to be more defensive, to be more even just what's the word? That it's doing a lot of, like, you know, radiograph, that kind of stuff, like listening out there, hiding out there, and it has a really great commercial too.
Yeah, it
big
does.
fan of it.
It does. Anything in particular about the design that struck you as a designer, or is it something about the design that you really liked about it? At CIG,
Yeah,
because it's definitely different.
Again, it's not like the like typical. Like X-wing kind of sharp looking thing. What you have on it are, like, you know, the VTOL thrusters, which all look very, it's not just like it's not just a block, it's not just a brick. It has like very bespoke like outlines, even that dish on the top, the circle area, like, and even the cockpit, like where you're viewing from the glass. I feel like it all just like lends itself to being it's all telling the story of the ship, which I think is
For me, it looked like a ship that belonged in Starship Troopers, the movie.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's one of the only ships that we have a side entrance ramp in too. Is there any other ship that has a side entrance ramp? There's a lot that have doors.
I don't know about
There's
a ramp.
doors, steps, and docking, but I don't know if anything that
not a ramp
that has a ramp that you go into from the, because most of the ramps are in the back of the ship.
That's not a vehicle.
Yeah, not a vehicle.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even own this ship, but I love the way that it looks. I love the concept art for it. I love the trailer that they have for it, and I love seeing it around when other people fly it. But yeah, one of my favorites.
Alrighty.
I have a question for you. How often do you see this in the verse?
I mean, so like the role of of going out there and sending out probes and listening for other ships.
Not there yet.
It's not there yet, so I don't really see it out there for that reason. But I think once that gameplay loop is around, when you're starting to like scope out other orgs and you need someone to go out there and be on the front lines listening, being really stealthy, you're gonna see this turtle out there. So
okay. Cool. Alrighty. That's good on that one. FC, I think you're up next. What you got in mind?
Yeah, I picked the Gatak railing for the exterior. I bounced around from quite a few steps. I started with the whole A because that ship is actually in game, and then I thought about I can't say the BMM. I can't use that ship too often.
I was wondering
how to diversify. And then I said, hell, so what's this ship that really looks cool? Then I think about the Endeavor, but I'm like, no, I don't really like. I mean, it's cool, but there's some other ships that are cool. But then I went back and looked at the ship for the commercial for the trailer, and it's animated. I loaded up in the OSI website, so it has the animation. It's really cool. The spokes on the front fold down. It has a levitating elevator that goes up and down. And it looks alien. I don't see any kind of human building this ship. Really, it's really unique. And it's from like the top. That's like, as far as I know, that's their first ship. Yeah. So it's not really something that you see in the verse or the catalog of Star Citizen that much. So I really like the way it looks. And like Abdi, it doesn't have that shape. I'm not gonna say the word that you use, but it doesn't have that shape. But and it has the utility. It has the utility because it's for cargo, and I think it had quite a bit. I'm like.
Yes.
It's not comparable to the whole sheet, but
it's a couple hundred. It's a couple hundred. It's a pretty decent size.
Yeah.
Something about the design on that, the exterior design. Like you said, it definitely doesn't give you a human design feel. It almost reminds me, I hate to say it, of solar sailors. Whenever we see those in space, they have that open. The front is this big something. Yeah, but I'm just saying that was the first thing that struck with me. But again, I like this idea of Gatak, this Xi'an design thing and whatnot. Yo, what do you think about that particular one too? That design on that ship, as far as alien looking.
Yeah, I've actually never seen this ship before. I'll be honest.
Oh, okay.
It looks really cool though. I love alien ships myself.
Yeah, we know.
I like how different they look.
We know, yeah, right? Because
I'm gonna put the link in Twitch chat so people can see the animation for it. But yeah,
I've never seen
the
it.
animations
cool.
for this are cool.
Oh god,
did they start doing animations with this ship too? I feel like this is one of those ones where on the promo page for it, they had some really cool looking animations to show you how it like opens up and how the cargo gets on, how you get in, and all that.
Hide your wallet, yo. If you like aliens, you might not want to look at this. I tell you. Okay. All right. Very cool, FC. Thank you very much for that. And speaking of, she just looked at it.
She just looked at it.
She just did, oh wow. I was like, oh well, she just looked at it.
There goes her wallet.
Yeah,
there goes her wallet.
That's it. Well, she said she likes aliens, so let's go ahead and go to Yo-Yo's pick, because that's what's up next. Yo-Yo, let's talk about your pick for aesthetics, exterior. Which one you like?
Yeah, so for me, I chose the Talon. I really like the way that ship looks. Bird-like, gives me Vulture vibes from Spider-Man. And I really love the quantum effect. That's one of my favorite things about the alien ships. I like the exterior, like component access, the exterior storage. I like the animations. I think they look really nice with the Talon. Trying to think what else. Oh, the I don't know if this counts as interior or exterior, but the animation to get into the cockpit, how the seat just comes fully out. And then once you get in, how it's completely dark until you turn the ship on, and then it just like unfolds. Yeah. It looks so amazing. Yeah. So Talon, I really like it.
I have a question for Yo-Yo. Is it the Strike or the normal one? Which one you prefer?
Actually, wow, I don't know the difference, I think.
Well, the Strike is the bomber. Strike is the bomber. That's the difference.
Okay, yeah. I don't think the Strike then. I don't think I've used the bomber before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, aesthetically, they're very close. They're very, very close. I'm sorry, Yo-Yo first. Usually, I have every ship in the game on my computer, and this is the one that was not there, so I'm just now getting it to come up.
Yeah, no worries.
So, I'm sorry. Pardon me there. But there it is right there. Let me get rid of that background.
That is such a cool ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, the front portion is probably my favorite part. It's just so different, so cool.
This one give me the vibe from Buck Rogers. From remember Hawk from Buck Rogers? Just feel like a ship he would fly.
Yeah.
I'm going old school. No one knows what I'm talking about.
No. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Hawk was he had the bird head and everything. Yo-Yo, one of the things that was really nice about this ship, if you remember when they introduced, I don't know, were you here when they introduced it, Yo-Yo, or were you in after they introduced it?
Probably after.
Okay. When they started showing us the gray box and white box of all this, and then they finally came up with that color palette with the paint, that was mind-blowing because it's got that luminescent, iridescent kind of color thing. Yeah. It's one of the only ships that has that. Well, at the time, it was one of the only ones. And that was the thing that really made this ship stand out a lot, was that paint job on it. It's very unique and very cool. I like that a lot about it.
I know we're going to do interior after this, but I just want to say the interior of the Talon is pretty cool, too. The way the cockpit is.
Yeah, that's what she was talking about. Yeah. We could talk about all of the Tavaran ships, right? They all have the whole, both aesthetic look to them as well as the technology that's tied into them that makes them really, really nice. But yeah, Talon, great ship. If you haven't tried the Strike yet, give it a try when you get time, Yo-Yo. I've got one if you ever want to fly it. It's got missiles out the wazoo. But these ships are designed to fly in lore. They're designed to fly together in groups. They create a special shield barrier that's supposed to be really cool. I can't wait till the whole Tavaran technology comes in, just like the Shion and everything else. Yeah, it's very, very
There's
cool
going to be some cool orgs out there, yeah. One of my favorite things about this ship, too, and just ship design in general, is you can see ship designs oftentimes, like, you'll see something that mimics, like, ships from today. A lot of times you'll see like, oh, this looks relatively similar to like a World War II bomber or something like that. But the other way that you can design ships is to model them off of something in life that we know, something more biology based, which is one reason why I like the Terrapin, but because that's turtle-esque. And then this one is like more bird,
avian,
hawk, avian and stuff like that, especially with the Tavaran. And then with the iridescent paint, that lends itself really well to it too, because birds have iridescent feathers oftentimes, all of them, but some of them. But all of that kind of just playing into the design and the aesthetic, I love it.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Okay, all right. So that was the the first category. That was tough for our folks to have. We're gonna go right into the next one. Let me get my thing here. All right, Fastcart just mentioned it. We're going from. Oops, I gotta change that back. Give me 1 second, guys. This is one of the times where I actually maxed out my Stream Deck with stuff.
Not really.
Wow. I mean, I have a 20-button Stream Deck, 20, and it's like that whole one side is totally like maxed out, which is insane that I would max that out. I got like about 40 buttons for this particular show. Okay. Let me. Oh no, everybody's stuff is still up. Jeez, this happens when you're sick. All right. Did I get rid of the last one? I still didn't get rid of the last one. There we go.
There you go.
All right. Okay, back to you, Abdi. Abdi, back to you and your pick for interior design, the Argo Raft.
Again, it's another ship that I don't own, but I feel like this ship came out when like they really started getting a groove of how they do interiors, like no wasted space, really cool aesthetics. Makes it like it's just a ship that it looks like you want to live in. The Argo Raft is one of those ships where like you kind of get that industrial feel. It's not exactly the same kind of like interior that you'd get from like something from Aliens or something like that, but like you do have like very specific like with the communal area, how that looks. It's a beautiful ship to me. I think that they did a really great job. And yeah, it's not one that I own, but one that I appreciate that other people do own. And when they like, it's one that I almost got just because of that interior. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, it has a really nice communal area. It has a place for bunks as well, and then you can go out in the back, right? And there's like the where you can see the 3 containers that you can put in the cargo hold and all that. And they use space really effectively. I feel like they really started locking down interiors. Maybe not with this ship, but like this is when they got to this one. Definitely had the interior unlocked.
Okay. You guys got anything on that one with the raft? Been inside of it?
It's a bit industrial. I mean, I do like industrial ships, but as far as favorite interior design, it's a bit too industrial for me. But I can see how other people would dig it. So yeah, cool.
So, industrial is like my particular role in Star Citizen. Like most of the ships that I have are industry based. So
right.
Yeah. So this like right up my alley in terms of how they designed it. I wish more of my ships kind of looked like this on the inside.
Yeah, I like Argo's ships a lot. I like how they're how do I word this? Like everything has a purpose, like you're a construction worker or something, like industrial worker. I really like how simple and to the point the interiors are on the Argos.
By the way,
there's like lots of little like hidey holes and stuff like that in the communal area where the kitchen is and stuff like that for trash and like food storage and even like the little bunk that you have that you can sit at with your crewmate and everything. I think that's cool.
Abdi, don't let Fastcart put you off about this ship. He wants something that he can sit back and drink Banu tea, you know, and sit on soft beds. I was just saying, beds, you know, he doesn't want that orange and black stuff. He ain't into that, you know. If it ain't golden green, if it's not golden green, forget about it. All right, just so you'll know. All right, speaking of, let's go ahead and take it to Fastcart himself. FC, what's your pick for interior design?
Yeah, so people thought I was going to pick it for the first one, but now for this one, I picked it Banner Merchantman. Now, this is for the concept that we've seen over the past year, right? Because we've seen all those communal areas, the turret, and all the not docking, but you know, the cargo area and stuff like that. So this is the interior of the Merchantman from the concept. I don't know how much of that is going to translate into the in-game, but I'm hoping a lot of it does, or most of it does. Because before then, we've seen a few concepts of the interior, like especially the meeting room where and like we had like 3 pictures of the interior, but this one they did this in 2021, the CitizenCon, and yeah, so interior design Banner Merchantman. And you know, I was thinking, should I go with the Banner Merchantman, maybe the 315p because I have the cool interior, or maybe the MSR because you have the chess game because I was thinking about that. No, I gotta go with the Banner Merchantman for this one.
It's a beautiful ship. I mean, like, I feel like it has a distinct alien vibe. Not exactly asymmetry, but like you don't see a lot of like you see a lot more rounded edges than you do sharp corners.
It's not sharp. Yeah,
and that's definitely like an alien trait that they like to emphasize to make you feel as if you're stepping into a different like culture, alien design.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes how CIG is going to balance. Boy, how can I say this? I've heard people talk about, oh, I want to be able to go to someplace and take an alien ship. But if the alien ship, the Asperias, for example, are reconfigured ships to fit human bodies, so I'm wondering whether or not that's going to be feasible in the game. You know what I mean? Will you be able to, if you were to get a Vandal ship, for example, is the interior not human acceptable. You know what I mean? That you can't function in it if it's not designed. I mean, Vandal's size.
Or if it's functional, maybe you'll have a penalty to using it.
Yeah, well, that's a big penalty because they're like freaking 9 feet tall over 5 feet. I'm just saying there's some physicality even in the Banu ships, right? Banu's physical design is different, and so I'm really curious to see if they'll leave flexibility for that, or whether or not there will be a restriction in getting an actual or authentic ship. You know, but you know, this one, when I looked at the design, Fastcart, correct me if I'm wrong, is this being designed based around humans? In the sense of the living areas and things of that nature.
Banu ship. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean,
even the restroom is still Banu.
It's still Banu.
If I recall, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
And you had that.
Lore. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I just thought there was something like lore based about the fact that this is like such a communal cultural ship that they kind of built.
It passed generational.
Yeah. Well,
they
not
passed
just
it down
generational,
from
but that
people.
but that they know that other cultures are coming into it, so that there's accommodations made for other races. I'm not 100% up on the lore of this ship, but I thought I remember hearing something about that, especially like with the bazaar and everything.
And my final thought about the Banu Expedition is I'm hoping that when it's released, hopefully this year, but you know, when it's released, it'll get me into snobs because it'll be luxury.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. As I've said before, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. All right, let's move on past that one to Yo-Yo, your pick for interior design.
So I went into this not knowing that is one of your favorite ships, Griffin. So bear with me here, but yeah, I feel like the first time I got into the 600i, it's like a few months ago when I had like a ton of money just to spend, and I knew the 400i and the 890. I had no idea the 600i existed. And so whenever I toured the inside of the ship, I want to say I like almost immediately fell in love with it. One of the I'm like struggling with like my words today. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Take your time.
That's okay.
One of the highlights, I guess, of the ship, in my opinion, is the captain's quarters. I really love how the bed faces an exterior, a huge window that you can look out of. So like whether you're in Quantum or chilling on a planet or like in Atmo, like you can just rest and like look out into like the stars or whatever you want to look at. I think it's honestly such a really cool part of the ship for me. The other part I like about the interior is that, and I'm sure other ships have this, but I feel like I don't see it a lot. There's either like a ladder or an elevator, but in this ship there's still stairs. So like if the elevator's ever not functional, you can still go around the ship using like the stairways. And then I think I heard it's going to get a rework, so I'm excited to see what that looks like. Not sure what.
I think they said they're not going to change that that bedroom though, like that bedroom kind of area. That's going to.
They did do some changes. There were minor changes. They moved they flipped the bathroom to the opposite side, I think, and a couple other things. But aesthetically, it's going to look almost the same.
Like, but yeah,
okay.
Very little changes there.
Going to be looking out the front, which I think is going to.
Yeah, none of that's changed.
Like people out of 600i owners happy. Although that's terrifying to me. I feel like I would, if I like woke up and saw that I was just whooshing into space.
Or you see a bunch of ships come out of Quantum right behind you.
No, it'd be like Star Trek TND and 10 forward. It'd be backward. But yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. I know there's a lot of like specks of plants around the ship that you don't really see in a lot of other ships. I like that. Especially where the bathroom is right now, in the captain's quarters. I like that wall of life. And then I like how the bathroom door is kind of like the wall. Like you could see it, you could not see it, like it just blends in. I really like that a lot. And then I think that the last thing is there's like this glass floor, like this rectangle glass floor. I can't remember which area it's in, but it's cool that you can like see underneath the ship. So if you're like hovering above a planet, you can like look down, and I think there's like a couch there. So it's really cool. So, like if you're just hanging out, looking below. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I noticed only Griffin picked this ship for the exterior because it's a flying bedpan on the outside.
Okay.
See there, here he goes. I've been leaving the Banu Merchantman alone. He wants me to start up. I've been leaving it alone. There you go. Yeah, I will because I did pick this ship earlier as the opening. I will say everything. I agree with you, Yo-Yo. It's amazing that there's some differences between this ship and the Explorer version of the ship. Because in this ship, you do have that advantage of the staircase in case you get EMP'd or the elevators go out. In the exploration version, you don't have that luxury. And that's a penalty. A lot of people, because the exploration version came out first, when everybody saw it, it looked pretty. But the closer people started to examine it, there were some people who felt like, well, there's a lot of space here that's not being utilized. Now, I'm a person, when it comes to luxury, I don't like clutter. So space for me is fine. As long as I can get to it and it makes sense. And in some futuristic environments, technology allows for you not to have all these panels and stuff on the wall. Other scenarios, certain ships, manufacturers, they do everything, like cables and wiring. So I think that aesthetic of an interior is really up to the person. I will agree that they could do more to it. And to your point, Yo-Yo, if you haven't seen it, I'll try to send you the ISC where they show the new version of this ship, and I think it's going to blow your mind. Just about everybody who didn't like the 600i is now saying, okay, yeah, this might be something I'd be willing to look at now.
I'm one of them.
It's that big of a difference, particularly in the rear area, the crew areas of the ship. CIG went back. They've learned a lot since they've done the 890. They've said that.
Gotcha.
This was their earlier one. The Phoenix was another one. After they did the 890, they feel like they know how to do that origin design better now. So hopefully, yeah, it'll be something to look forward to.
And the hangar is going to be a little bigger too, right?
Yeah, the hangar is going to be designed a little bit differently, as well as the ramp area down below too. Yeah, it's
so cool how you can look into your ship from like the second floor of the 600i. I mean, I like helped my friend. I got him like half of a 600i as he started getting into the ship or started getting into the game. And he finally like finished, paying off and getting it. And then and I finally got to just like hang out in there, and I tried to fit my Merlin in there, and you had to do some real funky flying in order to get it in.
You're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. It was desecrating that ship. It's desecrating that ship. But
wait. Would you be fine if it was the Archimedes instead of the Merlin?
No. Well, first of all, no. It's not that. It's just the fact that it's not. It's not designed for that. That's all.
No,
it's
really
just
not.
like my
really
argument
because.
It's my argument of people putting a Nox in where the X1 goes. Okay, that's just my argument. Okay, I mean,
talking to content creators over here.
To your point, Griff, I got the ship in, and then when I tried to get it out, I somehow completely destroyed the 600i. Yeah. But my ship was totally fine. The Merlin was fine. The Merlin was fine. The 600i was just like boom. It's like okay, sorry.
Yeah, but my thing about the current 600i is that it's too clean. I feel like I have to take off my shoes and whatnot when I get into the ship. So I'm hoping I don't feel that way when it goes there and come out.
You have slippers for you at the door.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Mexi. Meg knows how to talk.
Man, luxury.
Meg knows how to talk. Meg knows how to talk. Dark Muta, don't come in here with that blasphemy talking about a tank. I will push you right out of this channel. Don't come in here talking that stuff. All right. Don't start that stuff with me today. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our next.
The funny thing is, Griff said that he wasn't going to talk a lot on the show today, and then as soon as he put that 600,
well, I had to say something about the 600. Okay, I had to talk about the 600. Okay, all right. Okay. Next up is flight handling, and Abdi, we're back to you on this one. What you got for us?
Oh, I love the Gladius. The Gladius, while not as quick and nimble as the Arrow makes me feel like I'm not in control, and the Gladius makes me feel like I very much am in control. And it just feels so good to fly around cities, to maneuver around enemies, to maneuver around asteroids. I feel like I really do feel like I'm in control when I'm in a Gladius. I fly with dual sticks, and it just, for something about the way that it feels when I'm flying with dual sticks, like it feels wonderful. It's the first ship that I buy when I'm in a new patch, or when I'm after a wipe. It's the first thing I save up for, because doing bounties in that, it gives you not just like a good flight feel, but it gives you a good like flying a spaceship feel. You know, like it makes you really feel like we got the Scorpius, and I haven't flown the Scorpius, but when I fly the Gladius, it makes me feel like I'm in an X-wing. You know, like it gives me that really good, like, I am in control of my ship. I can maneuver around rocks. I can maneuver around enemies, and I can get out of this place super fast if I need to. Yeah, it's one of my faves.
Cool. Yo-Yo, Fastcart, anything about this ship?
Well, shit, I can't call me next because, you know, I have a reason. But go ahead, yo.
No, you go.
Well, I picked the Gladius too.
Oh, okay. All right, so Yo-Yo, it's on you.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly was going to pick the Gladius as well, but I've flown the ship that I chose. I flew more, so like I don't have much experience with the Gladius to put it as like my favorite for this category.
Okay,
if that makes sense. I'm sure it obviously 2 out of 3. I'm sure it should be 3 out of 3. Mom.
Yeah. I think that the Gladius is probably considered one of the friendliest of the fighters. Over the heavy fighters, and even over the Arrow. The Arrow is really nimble. They're both light fighter category, but I think they designed this deliberately to feel good, because it's one of the primary ships we'll all be flying in Squadron 42. So you don't have to be the ace pilot, or be able to finesse a lot. It is a good fighter. It really is. It's been around a long time, and since it's gotten this gold standard, I think that's stepped it up as well too.
Agreed.
But it is definitely a nice ship. Fastcart, we'll go ahead and jump to you, since you say this is also on your list. What do you got to say about it?
Yeah, so my favorite combat ship, I know that's coming up, but it's a Hornet. But I was flying in Xenothreat, and I got my Hornet blown up, and it was going to take a few minutes before it was going to be claimable. So I said, let me take out my Gladius and take this into Xenothreat. And that was like an experience. I was like, whoa, this is smooth. What is going on? I like this. Oh, wow. I wish the Hornet was like that. So, yeah, it handled wonderfully. I wish it had the firepower of the Trooper Hornet. But, yeah, for a light fighter, it's pretty decent. And yeah, what Abdi said, obviously, too. So, yeah, the Gladius for flight and handling. If you don't have a Gladius, win one, try one out. You won't regret it.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, Yo-Yo, your pick. It's interesting. What you got?
Yes. Yeah, so I really shy away from solo fighter ships in general. So recently I tried out the 350R from the recommendation of my friend, because I was trying to learn how to fly with flight sticks. And so I'm a little biased in saying that this is my favorite ship for flight and handling. But yeah, I felt like while I was training with the flight sticks, it felt pretty easy to maneuver versus just like any other ship really that I've flown. It just felt really comfortable for me. Yeah.
Did you have any issues?
Ship,
I was going to say, now the ship is a racer. So were you having to be careful about, because once you start getting over I forget what you call my brain's foggy. Yeah. Once you get above that into the red of FCM, you start to lose your control. You start picking up more speed, but less control. Did you have any issues with that, or did you kind of just handle it, basically?
Handle it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm usually pretty good about that, but
okay.
I feel like the 300 series feels really good to fly too, because I used to have a 325A, and I really liked that ship. I'm talking about back in 2016. I had a 325. It was 2016, and even back then, it felt like such a cool, sleek ship to fly. And I haven't been back in one in a long time, but yeah, Yo-Yo, you're kind of making me think about maybe buying one of these in game again and giving it a spin.
Yeah, I was trying to think of different ships that could do kind of everything. So to try to get away from the Avenger. The Avenger Titan. A vehicle that had a bed, fighting capability, and it was like nice to maneuver. So yeah, that's why I checked it out, and yeah, I don't know if it has won me over, but I do like it.
Yo-Yo, are you like Griff? Are you one of those Origin Origin fans?
No, she just recognizes a good ship. Thank you. That's all there is to it.
Wow. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying like having like a kid. I don't have.
It's a bad thing. You're gonna be honest. It's a bad thing.
No, I honestly don't have. I'm not really sold on like any one company or whatever it's called. I apologize.
Yeah,
manufacturer. Yeah, I just like to try everything. I feel like my choices are pretty broad, or not broad, but like different manufacturers on this list. So I really just like to check them all out. Whatever sticks. I mean, I didn't really touch like the 600i. It was just like a walkthrough. Didn't really like do a whole heck of a lot in it. And like Origin, like I barely touched that ship like last month. So the 350R. So there's still so many ships that I haven't actually been in myself. But and like there's ships still like y'all are talking about that I had no idea even existed. But yeah, definitely slowly but surely. I'm sure I'll have a favorite manufacturer eventually, but
I mean, I don't have one, but I kind of wish that I did, because you see those people out there, they're wearing their like, I don't know, their Aegis gear and their like stuff like that, and I'm like, I just like everything. I'm gonna have like an Aegis shirt. Like it's like when people mix Adidas and Nike and all that kind of stuff at the same time, and I'm like, maybe you could just kind of put it all together, you know?
I mean, I don't know if Griffin has this issue, but for me, my favorite manufacturers have grown, varied over the years. So when I first started, it was Mist and RSI, and then it became. It was, I want to say Mist first and RSI, and then now it's Crusader.
They really have come up in the last few years.
Yeah, out of all the ships in my fleet, I think I had the most Crusader ships. So yeah, but as far as the 250R, this is going to be my second choice when it came to racing ships. I think we talked about it last week. I went with the Laser LX instead, but the 350R is a decent choice for racing.
Okay, very cool. Alrighty, we move into our next category. And that is careers. And this is for them to talk about their own personal careers, things that they want to be able to do in game. And so, Abdi, we're going to kick off with you with this one. And it's your turn.
Yes, we're going to talk about the prospector. I love industry. I feel like it's such an interesting game loop there are multiple game loops under industry, but I just love that this game is so big that it's not just like you have to do combat or you have to do this or that. And industry, really, even within industry, you get to flex in so many different ways. With the prospector, I feel like it gives me one of the most satisfying game loops that I've experienced in Star Citizen. Like we've all done the bounty hunter missions, we've all done the box missions, we've all done, we've tried to do trading, but trading doesn't work really well. But with the prospector, it allows you to touch on like two game loops at the same time. And that's one of my favorite things about it. And on top of that, it gives you a reason to come back to the game. Like before we had Reputation, oftentimes you could do a game loop or something like that, and then you could just leave and there's nothing exactly pulling you back. But with the prospector, you do quantanium mining, you do mining of any of other sort, you put it in, to get it refined, and you have a reason to come back the next day to do some cargo hauling. And that's what I'm talking about with the two game loops, being able to do both mining, and then after you're done mining, it gives you a reason to get back into the game and take what you've refined, and bring it somewhere and sell it. And I love that. On top of that, Quantanium is like my favorite thing to mine. It feels exciting. You have a time limit. If you get to the place where you want to go, and then there's like pirates there, you got to do some fancy flying to get around them to get back into the green zone. So like there's a lot to prospector mining that I think is super fun. Some people might say, why didn't you pick the mole? I think there are times where, especially I'm a dad, don't have a lot of time to like coordinate with other people. I just kind of want to vibe. I get in the prospector. I go out into the Aaron Halo when the Aaron Halo's working with me. Not all the time. Sometimes you gotta, jump servers, and you mine. You do your thing. You make your money, and then you're done for the night. And that it feels like a really satisfying game loop. Yeah. Yep. Shem Pasta, same thing. Refining it is exciting. Coming back the next day to sell, and then you make a lot of money. That feels really good. So, yeah.
I like that you can either do surface mining or space mining.
Yeah, that too. Yep.
I used to mine for 4-6 hours in EVE Online. I'm not going to say I'm really over mining. It's just that, yeah, I'm over mining. I mine myself out. So, yeah.
You've done it enough.
Yeah, I've done it enough, basically. But, I mean, it's cool, especially if you want to make money and or if you want to mine your own materials and make your own stuff without having to pay a middleman.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I think it's super cool.
Okay. All right. The prospector. FC, for you for career, where are we going to go here?
Yeah, I picked the Miss Endeavor Discovery class. I have two endeavors. One will be have a hangar and the super collider, but between the two of them, I picked the Discovery because it has a class, a really separate class. It comes with a science module, a service and crew module, and a general research module. So that's what I picked because hopefully I'm going to use it to research and manufacture and stuff like that, and sell stuff, and then sell stuff on my message man. But yeah, the like Abby said, it is industrial, and Miss and RSI were my first player. I think I got the Endeavor, my first Endeavor, probably my second year after I first played. So I'm still waiting for it. It's going to be one of the last ships that's coming to the game, but it'll be that much better for it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
What are your crewing thoughts on that kind of ship? Like, is this like a?
You see, I got this when it was smaller, and I was like, okay, 8 people, maybe I get some friends and stuff like that. But it's going to grow in size. I'm imagining the crew complement will probably grow in size too. So I may be in trouble there. I have 2 endeavors and many missions. They all have to have their own crew, right? So
I mean,
we'll see how that goes.
So Fastcart, you host a show with like so many viewers and stuff like that. I don't think you're going to be at any shortage to find people that want to crew up with you. But
I got to make sure they don't steal stuff. This looks shiny.
Well, I want to bring my muddy boots up to that ship, and I'm going to be tracking my footprints all over the place.
You viewers just remember.
Looking forward to Endeavor.
You viewers just remember that Fastcart calls you crooks. Just remember that. I just want you to remember that. He was the one who said it, not me. Okay. No. Yeah. Meg, have you ever looked into any of these ships? As far as the Endeavors, rather, have you looked at them at all, or just? I know you're still, getting into the game a lot with some of these things.
Yeah. So I don't know everything about this ship, but I'm pretty sure this is the first Soul Citizen that I actually watched. I feel like I was listening to Jade talking about this ship, like over a year ago, or maybe less than a year ago, but. Yeah,
that's the right person to hear talking about this ship too. She knows a lot about all the science stuff and everything.
Yeah, it was science stuff. So this is the ship, right? Or no?
Yep.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different ship.
No, you're right. You're right. We did a show on the Endeavor. You're absolutely right.
Oh yeah, shout out Jade. But yeah, definitely don't know much, but I'm excited for whoever owns this ship and allows me to get a tour whenever it comes out.
If it comes out, no, it'll come out eventually. It'll just be a while.
You can probably work on Fastcart shit, but he's gonna be like walking around making sure
I'll be a janitor
about the shit.
with cufflinks on my feet, no pockets. Oh my god!
Yeah. He's like, "What you got in there?"
He's got a metal detector at the door.
Yeah.
All right, yo, what you got for us for your career ship?
For me, I chose the Mercury. Yeah, so I think the actual career for the ship is data mining, but that is not in the game yet. So I use it for bunker missions. One of my favorite missions to run is the drug lab raids. I think you have to. I think this is the mission. It might not be where you can't land your ship close because the turrets will take you out. So you have to take a vehicle. So the MSR is nice for having a ramp and a big enough space for multiple vehicles. So I'm able to drive out there, raid, and then using that vehicle and all my tools and stuff, maybe take some drugs back with me and then smuggle some drugs and sell. So that's basically the loop that I run with the Mercury, but yeah.
That's a fun loop. I haven't done that with the Mercury Star Runner, but it's perfect for it.
I'm excited for data mining.
It's gonna be so cool. Yeah,
and it's a fast ship. I have one of those, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Except for the turret windows.
I'm curious to what that career is going to look like, Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
You know, because passing information is going to be important in the game, and I'm really curious to see how CIG is going to make it so that all information remains inside the game. In other words, I can't go to somebody's website and pull information down. You know what I mean? Because that's what will happen. You know, there will be players who will, and I'm gonna say, I don't want to say this in a disparaging way, but the art of discovery in games is kind of diminished. People don't want to spend the time to discover and find things. 305, thank you for that follow.
Thank you.
Thanks for the follow.
And I do worry about when things get published, how they'll make it so that for your ship to be profitable, right? For you to have that Mercury and your information, all the labor and work you've put into it, you know, I don't know how CIG going to make sense that you can sell it to someone and yet and still it remains, you know what I mean? They're going to have to create some type of game mechanic that, like for Fastcart's ship, you can put it into his travel computer and that's how it's deciphered, not because there's some weird something that's come out that I can now take and publish outside of the game world. And now the value of me buying stuff from you is no longer there because I can just go on a website and find all that information. I'm just curious to see how they're going to do that, you know?
It kind of makes a case for like having what other games have where they have like instances or something like that, where like you get some data to find a new location, and that new location, whoever's in your ship can go with you to that new location, but no one else, because they don't have, you know.
I don't see them doing that way.
I don't think they want to do that.
And I know what he's saying.
I know what he's saying.
I don't think a lot of people will want that, but I think if you're going to say you discovered something new, it's going to be a crapshoot if everyone's able to do the same thing. You know, like stuff is. There's going to be people who are going to be no-lifing this game, and they're going to find everything day one. You know what I mean? Like not day one.
Well,
but like there's going to be. Let's say, like, what's there for everyone else?
Let's say Yo-Yo, you know, she finds a wormhole, right? One that's not on the charts, not on the map, right? Maybe when she scans it and that goes into the computers on her ship, the only thing that she can do is sell that data to someone else. And the only way for it to be of use is for that person to have a flight computer that information gets plugged into, key card or whatever, right? And the ship automated in an automated way goes to that destination. In other words, you know what I'm saying? You just, your ship goes and it arrives, right? It just arrives and that's it. And because let me give you an example. In the Banu ships, one of the things in lore, Jade, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if Fastcart knows this too, but in the Banu ships, one of the things that the reason why they're generational and the ships get passed down is because their flight data recorder retains that information over generations. So that when they want to travel around the universe, for them, they have hundreds of years of information in their data record. Where for me coming in the game, I've got to build that information up over time. Now, whether or not the Banu merchantman will have that when it comes in game or not, I don't know. But I'm saying in lore though, that was the deal. You see what I'm saying? They could navigate through wormholes and things because they had generations of information storing that information. If Yo-Yo sells that information to me, then to me, I should not be able to actually have that data in some tangible outside of the game way. It should be, I plug it into my computer and my computer takes me there and that's it. Now, maybe I can figure it out once I get there, but even if I do, unless you've got a key card encryption or something, you still can't just get to that space. Now, I don't know. They're going to figure out something. Because
They will.
there's got to be a way of using the natural resources of the constellations and the planets and everything around and systems to find stuff. But I just don't want it to be where people are able to find stuff outside of the game world, because that's just going to kill stuff as far as I'm concerned.
Griffin, at the start of this conversation about the Mercury, I keep on saying want to say Star Wars, but it's just the Mercury now. But you made a comment that how you could how CIG is going to work out the game loop, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to make a joke that Vomab made a while ago about different stuff. I think CIG is curious too. From we haven't heard hide or hear about this game loop in a while. So
well, I'm sure. Now, I'm not trying to be funny. It's been 10 years. So I'm sure they've got some type of whiteboard or something, white paper that says what is supposed to be done. I'm just curious as to how they're going to keep it secure, because if they want that information to be valuable in the economy of the game, all you got to do is put it on the website and its value in the game goes out the window, So they've got to figure out a way to make that happen. And Lefty mentioned some good things, that they can have different styles of data storage, even with location data. Okay. It could go through a UEE. I love that UEE copy link. Maybe you have to submit it to the UEE, and the only way you can get it is to buy through them. It's all types of things they can do. I agree. That's good stuff. Okay, thank you.
They have a lot of that stuff in the lore too, just with like the idea of jump points being found or astral anomalies being found and stuff like that, and being the information being hoarded and to be sold at for various reasons, whether it be for the benefit of the UEE or benefit of people in general, or just the benefit of the person selling it. But I'm really curious to see how the lore and the way that it works is linked.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's hit this next category here. Daily Driver. Abdi, we're going to kick it off with you. You picked a really interesting daily driver. Let's talk about yours. What you got?
So my daily driver used to be, even before the gold pass, used to be the Gladius, because it's just like a nimble ship that can fly around and you can do a bunch of bounties in it and all that kind of stuff. But I got to know the Harbinger, especially for Xenothreat. I was once saved by a Harbinger, and after I was saved by that Harbinger during Xenothreat, I was like, I gotta learn more about this ship. So I got this ship, and it can fly for days. It's got so much quantum fuel. So if you're doing box missions, you can go from place to place to place to place to place and not have to refuel if you don't need to. On top of that, it's tanky. So you can do a bunch of combat missions if you want to. Like if you're doing ERTs, you're probably going to need to fix up if you're doing them solo. But you put some laser repeaters or something on that, you can do, medium risk targets to high risk targets to VHRTs and not have to stop and refuel or restock or anything like that. So it's a really good daily driver. You can log out in it if you want to, because it has a bed, and it also is just like it's a ship that you can bring to events. Because if you need to bring a friend, it has a spot for a friend where the friend could actually do something. Getting in those turrets and putting Panther laser repeaters on them. Like that person's actually going to be doing something. Like it makes a difference. So anytime that I can bring a friend out and show them this ship, I feel like it's usually gone like, oh, this ship is actually pretty cool. In addition to being able to it's got the wow factor with being able to see the torpedoes in the bay. Sometimes those glitch out and you see the torpedo not in the bay and it's in the crew quarter, which is a little terrifying. But it's a cool ship. It's not the perfect ship, that's for sure. It doesn't have a cargo grid. It doesn't have as many torpedoes as I feel like it should have. Which Griff and I agree on this point. Yep. So it doesn't have that. But this is the type of ship that you could really if you wanted to be the tip of the spear in terms of a fleet. This could be a really good one just because it's tanky, it can do some damage, and I mean, if you get to know how it flies, even though it's a little sluggish, once you get to know it, how to use your weight basically, and it ends up not being a detriment. It's something that you end up using to your advantage, and this is my ship.
Okay.
It's the only combat ship that I own. Like combat.
Interesting.
So I have a question for you. Are you able to name the ship yet, or no, it's not anything? I have a suggestion for you when it becomes nameable. How I learned to not fear the bomb but love the bomb. That'll be the name of this ship.
That's a good film.
Griffin get that in reference.
Yeah, I got that one.
Okay.
Was that Laura? That was James Earl Jones on the bomb as he was dropping off on that one, right?
Well, thankfully it wasn't James Earl Jones on the bomb, but yeah, that was Slim Pickens on the bomb.
Right.
But James Earl Jones is in the movie. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
As Dr. Strangelove. Yeah.
That's it.
Black History Month note. That was his first film. James Earl Jones's first film. Very good.
Oh,
Very
cool.
Good. Okay.
Love that, man.
Yo, any thoughts about the Harbinger? What's it called? The Aegis
Warden Harbinger. No, not the Vanguard.
Vanguard.
It's part of the Vanguard series. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I've seen this video in or seen this ship in a top 10 fighter ships.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I checked it out, but it's like Abdi said, it's a little sluggish. So I quickly just didn't even give it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know it's a great ship, but yeah.
Yeah, heavy fighters. But my buddy Nihilus loves his, right? And I wanted this one so bad, Abdi. I waited for the Harbinger.
I know. We've talked about this. I know.
Broke my heart. I still haven't bought it. I'm still vacillating about
a couple
this
more. They're gonna gold pass it at some point. They'll put a couple more torps in there.
Oh, they need
and
to.
And if they
man.
don't, I will.
When they took away that one torp, I just lost it. I was already funny about. Anyway, I love your points. Go ahead, Fastcart.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say,
if I would get a warden, get a Vanguard, it would probably be the warden, not the Harbinger. But I can understand how you can configure it into a daily driver. So I don't blame you at all for that.
The advantage to this ship is what you said earlier too: range, because getting across a system with most fighters, Stanson is not a big system. It's a small system compared to many systems. Mm-hmm. And there are many fighters in the game that you have to stop twice, maybe 3 times to get across the system. Mm-hmm. This sucker can cross the system. The other factor is that it has the bed in it, which is another factor. The fact that you can log out in it
for food.
Yes, and you can log out. So from a daily driver perspective, I normally wouldn't pick a fighter, but if there was one that gives you all those pluses, then you're right. This one does allow you to, if you just want to travel around the verse in it and do your thing. You don't have the cargo space, but if you ain't trying to haul cargo and do trading, it'll work out good for you, Okay. FC, what you got for us, buddy?
Okay, so I have the Mercury for my daily driver. It was a tough choice between the 315P or the Mercury, but I went with the Mercury. It has a lot of range, and it's a fast ship, like I mentioned when Yo-Yo picked it. And yeah, it looks cool. Well, I mean, this is not for talking about exterior or interior, but I do like the look of this ship. So I consider myself daily driving. Matter of fact, whenever I do something that I want to just get from place to place, I pick the Mercury to fly around. So, one thing that we didn't talk about with Meg is Star Citizen on, and not.
Oh, Fastcart, you're kind of cutting out.
You're roboting FC. One more time, buddy.
Yeah,
that, you know what? That's because that must have been a joke. It must have been a joke. That was the fates. That was the fates. That was the fates intervening. What were you going to say?
Better now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. What were you going to say?
Okay, I said the computers are powerful enough to play Star Citizen on.
Yeah. I wish I could
simulate to cut me out.
I wish I could simulate the roboting. I wish I could simulate the roboting. I wish I could.
It's a button on a stream deck.
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna say something real quick about the MSR.
Sure.
So the Gladius was my well, if we're going way back, the Aurora was my first daily driver. Then it was the 325A. Then it was the Prospector. Then it was the Gladius, and then it was the MSR. And the MSR was my go-to ship. And I think, was it pre 314? this thing used to fly so nice. Like, it was so maneuverable. It didn't even make sense how this big bulky ship could be on like in Atmo.
You said it yourself. It didn't make sense. Go ahead.
It didn't make sense. But
Let us have it.
I loved it because I used to do rock mining, and like this would be the best ship for rock mining. And then after 3.14, I think it was 3.14, they changed the flight characteristics of it, and it's just like now it's like just kind of just like flying around there, and I'm like, man. Now, so I moved off of this ship, but oh man, this used to be my favorite. The only thing is all the doors, and then you have to like lock those doors open. It's annoying to have to get in, get out. I wish there was an elevator.
I wish there was a keep doors open at all times. I don't care about security.
There used to be, isn't there?
Not that doesn't open the ramp. You know, if you want to keep all your interior doors open, I think she's talking about.
Yeah.
Yo, didn't you have this as your second ship, your second daily driver, or no? Did I remember that on your list?
I did. I did.
Okay.
Yeah, because like it's usually the ship. Like if I have multiple people playing, it's usually the ship I go to, or if I'm like traveling far, it's the ship I use as my go-to. Okay. But I was gonna say, this is my joke. Don't let me cut out. But they did give us a quick exit this last patch.
Yeah, they
I
sure
don't know if
did.
I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
They gave us that elevator we wanted.
Yeah, they sure did. Fall right on out of that bad fella. You're absolutely right. Okay. All right, let's hit Yo-Yo's pick for this one. What you got, Yo-Yo?
Yes. It's the most recent addition to the game, the Pisces C8R, the medical version. So when I'm solo, I love using this ship as a probably a little game breaking, not to play it as a role play, not to be as role play as possible, I guess. By like if I ever need like water or food, I could just get into the bed and get that right back up to 100%. Which I think if you do that, it goes down faster than if you did drink. Okay, so it's a little game breaking, but yeah, I love the C8R. If I'm ever doing solo bunker missions, and I can just keep going. Ship's small, fast, nice maneuverability, instead of like hauling around the MSR and like some vehicles. But yeah, when I'm with friends, MSR, the Mercury, and then if I'm alone, definitely the C8R. Love the bed, and even if people are with me, the bed is nice because we don't have to keep going back up to like on the planet or to a port to heal up.
That's a good pick. That's a really good pick. No notes, just kidding. It's just like it's a well-rounded ship. I love the Pisces in general, but having that bed on there is so cool. I think that's like if you're doing bunker busting, like it's perfect for that. I feel like.
Yeah. I've also done some medical rescue missions too with this ship, and I've wanted to honestly, because of this ship getting introduced in the game and me getting it, and like doing a little bit of the medical missions and like rescuing some people and just like flying down and they can get into the bed if they need to. It's made me kind of want to get into medical as a career. So I was looking into ships like Apollo and stuff like that. But
very nice. I actually bought one of these. I parked this and my Cutlass Red at Hurston, so that when I want to take medical beacons, I leave out of there to do them. And weirdly enough, I actually signed up or put in an application to join Midrunners.
Nice.
Yeah. Just so you'll know, there's an org that, does that. And that's what they're dedicated to doing. So there might be worth taking a look at. But it's just interesting that, like you said, this is kind of giving a lot of people a little bit more inspiration. Because even though the Cuddy Red was in there, this is kind of expanded it a little bit more to what people feel like they could do. Just a single player. You don't have to have 3 or 4 people to do it, which is nice.
Yeah, I too was looking into the med runners, but didn't get too far into that. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to even just explore. Getting some more like-minded people who are into that. Yeah.
I mean, like that role in general is going to be so valuable, especially once like Death of a Salesman.
Yeah, sorry, you've been reading again.
We all do it.
Once Death of a Spaceman comes in, like that's just it's going to be huge, just because everyone thinks about like, oh, this is what I'm gonna like. This is my favorite gun. This is my favorite armor. And then you think about like, you know, having the defensive person in there. And once you need to do that, and you're like, wait, how do I heal myself? What button do I press? Oh, wait, which like, how do I administer this? Like having someone that knows that stuff, like that person's gonna be super valuable.
Absolutely.
You know, and next month is Women's History Month. I hope they change that from Death of a Spaceman to Death of a Space Person.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
Old Lefty said, "Death of a Salesman is when they stop selling spaceships and launch the game." So, there you go.
Death of Star Citizen.
Yeah, there you go. All righty, we knocked that one out. Next category is an interesting category. I was really curious to see what our panelists were going to
the hard one.
say to this one. And this category, this category was called disposable. Which ships they considered disposable when they fly them? If something happens to them, they don't care. If they gotta jump out and EVA and leave it behind, they don't care. And so Abdi, we're gonna start out with you on this one. What do you
Bro, I don't even know why I have an arrow. I don't even own it, but it's just it's always there.
Leave me alone.
Why do I have an arrow? It's always on my list of ships. So like anytime that I'm like, oh, I just need to fly around to get from here to there to meet up with a friend, I'm going to take the ship that I don't care about. It's the arrow. It's the one that it loads in super fast. It's fine if I get destroyed in it. It's not even mine. I never bought it. And I think it's a subscriber thing. Okay. Or maybe it's like sometimes they get kind of messed up with like what ships because of like the, what's it called? The ship matrix. For
the ship of the month or the loan. Yeah, you probably have it as a loan. The loaner, you probably have it alone.
I don't know if it's a loaner matrix ship. I don't know where it came from.
Probably, yeah, I think it is.
For some reason, it's there, and I'm like, I didn't buy this. I don't care about it. I'm not going to put a new drive on it. I'm not going to put any new weapons on it.
There are some people you're making really mad right now. I want you to know that, man. There's some serious arrow lovers in this game, dude. I'm telling you,
dude. The arrow is a valuable. It's a valuable ship. I just don't like how it flies. It's too zippy for me. It's just too zippy for me. So I mean, like the Gladius, if I want to if I actually want to like go out there and do some like missions, the Gladius is what I'm going to take. But I have a friend, like the arrow is his like number one thing. I know Zero State used to be super good in an arrow. I don't know if he's still flying with it. They made some like changes to how it flies, like micro adjustments and stuff like that. And so I know people love the arrow, but like it's just
I got you.
I don't need it.
To each his own, brother. To each his own. Tal said he said any ship is disposable. That would be everything in front of his vulture. So that's something else to think about.
All the claimer, yeah.
There you go.
That's true. Especially this patch. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So that was yours, the arrow. FC, who was yours?
Yeah, I had this was a tough one for me, but eventually I settled on the Titan. The Whoa would have been too easy, and then I said maybe 100 series. I'm like, no, but then my final two choices between 315p, which I do own, and Aegis Titan, which I no longer own, but had it previously. And so I went on to Oracle and I said, oh, the Titan is cheaper than 315p, so I go with the Titan because you can carry cargo. You can get to wherever you need to go, and you know it's a pretty good ship. But on my 215p, I kitted it out with the customization. I have my food processor, I have my fridge, I have my clock. So I'm not leaving that behind. I'm taking but I will leave behind the Titan because I don't have anything else on it.
Okay.
Fastcart's got his mind on the food. That's the most important part of anything.
That's interesting too, because the Titan is considered like Yo-Yo mentioned this earlier. It's like one of the more popular ships in the game. Like
this is a good daily driver. I'm surprised that you said it's sustainable.
Yeah,
I mean for me, because it has the cargo. If you need something to carry a lot of cargo, like the ship that are below that can't carry as much.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right, Meg, it's on you. What you got?
The Pisces expedition.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically any size
Switching the
one
theme.
ship. Basically any size one ship. Because if I ever get stuck at a, again blanking on words, like those posts where you can like loot and stuff or drop off any cargo.
Yeah, the bunkers and stuff.
Yeah, like you could call ships in if they're size 1. So.
Oh sure, like at the what are those, like the little they're not R&R stations, they're the ground ones.
Yeah, Platinum Bay, like Jade said, Platinum Bay, you can call them in. But I think the Pisces.
That's the one, Outpost.
Okay, I think the Pisces is my main choice over like the Aurora, because I could potentially use it like for a Carrack, and the Carrack would probably be the main ship that I would care about. But yeah, Pisces just basically get back to my other ship.
Okay.
And it's quick to call in.
It's interesting because you, on the other side, the C8R, which is the Pisces, is your daily driver. But in this particular case, the regular one, you have no problem with saying, hey, leave this wherever I leave it, right? It's not a big deal.
Trash.
And the other thing, too, when we say disposable, is because I think for, at least for this ship, and it's kind of funny for your ship because it's not necessarily the same for the ones that Fastcart picked. I don't know. What's the reclaim time on an Avenger? Because the Arrow and the Pisces are quick. They're like 40 seconds.
I don't think it's that long.
Okay.
I don't think it's that long.
Minute 40.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, honestly.
Yeah, because I mean,
it's like 3 minutes or something like that.
Oh, dang, really?
For the Titan? Because the Pisces and stuff is like 40 seconds. They're fast. So I get
they're very fast.
It's like an Aurora or anything else. You do them and it's like, no big deal. So that's one of the reasons why they're disposables. Not that there's anything wrong with these ships, but you don't have to worry about any serious recall times for them when you claim them.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I'm surprised none of us picked a Mustang or an Aurora for disposable.
They may not own them. Do they own them? If they don't own them, they ain't picking them.
I literally don't own it.
I was also going to say that. Sorry, you go.
No, you go.
Oh, sorry. I was also going to say that sometimes either like the ship that I'm going back to or a ship that I have stored has stuff in it, whether it be like important or just like I put a bunch of plushies in it and I don't want those to disappear if I claim. So the Expedition would be my choice over the C8R.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So the Expedition is what I use to ferry, like at the start of a new patch. It's like my first daily driver before I start using other ships, because it's what I use to ferry my loadouts, my ship components and stuff like that. I use the C8X to get stuff from here to there. But then after I do that, I don't really use it very often. Okay. But yeah, no, I think this is, that makes a lot of sense to me.
I had to put the C8X up because I had the C8 up, and I just realized the difference between the two.
More firepower.
That you guys went with, was that one instead. And again, same time, 40 seconds to call it up, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I know I picked these. I was waffling between the 315P and Titan, but for my third shoulder ship, it got to be the 600i. And I can do without that ship.
You just want to fight. Like,
wow. He's gonna press the cutout button.
I was trying to figure out which one of these buttons over here I could push. I could push that one there. I was trying to figure out which one to use. I just couldn't figure it out.
He was waiting on that too. Until everyone was done. He was waiting until everybody was done to say that.
Okay. On that note, we move to our next category, which is combat. Something that I think we alluded to a little earlier. Let's talk about combat ships. Yo-Yo says, oh no. All right.
I read chat. I'm sorry.
Abdi, what you got here for your good combat ship?
So, I mean, I already said Gladius. I don't need to talk about it too much more. I've talked a lot tonight. So,
well, you talked about it in a sense of flight abilities earlier, and maneuverability. So, what about combat though?
So, with combat, this is another one of my favorites. It used to be my daily driver. The reason why I changed from it being my daily driver was because when I'm trying to get money especially once a new patch or a new wipe starts, I'm trying to like rank up my bounty system as fast as possible. and I don't want to have to be switching out ships. And the Gladius is really great up until a certain point. Some people can use a Gladius to take down a Hammerhead. That's tedious to me. I would rather, just start with my Harbinger all the way from VLRTs to ERTs. But when it comes to the Gladius, from VLRTs up to like VHRTs, the Gladius is just, it feels so good. I put 3 Panthers on it, so I don't have to go and restock and spend money on that. Making sure to push my power triangle to using the weapons more often, so I get more ammo out of it at the start. But like you can take down a ton of ships in this kind of a thing, and really rank up your bounty hunter rep. And it just, again, it feels really good. The reason why I wouldn't pick the Harbinger here is because you can get kited in a Harbinger just because it's so. It is a little bit slower. If you have somebody in your turret, that's not such a big problem. But oftentimes, a lot of people are just doing this, solo, especially with bounties and stuff like that. So if you're talking solo combat, love the Gladius.
Okay, very cool. FC, let's go to you.
This may surprise a lot of people, but I went with the Hornet F7 Heartseeker, not the Super Hornet, but the laser variant. When I first started, I fell in love with the Super Hornet. You have all those weapons, and to be fair, I'm not the best pilot, so I need all the weapons I can get that I have control over myself instead of having someone else behind me doing the turret. So it's first firepower and I just fell in love with the ship back in 2014 and 2015. But I upgraded my Taurus to the F7 Seeker, so I have it permanently in my fleet now, the Heart Seeker, sorry. And yeah, I love it, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I love it because it's tanky and you can take several hits. And I'm curious to how it will respond when it eventually put armor in the game. So I hope it's gonna make it even tankier. But yeah, the R7C Heartseeker for me, it has a lot of guns on it, right? And make it hard to miss.
There's a lot of folks who are looking forward to a possible rework of the Anvil F series, just because it's one of the earlier series in the game. So it will be interesting to see when they take it to gold standard with modifications they may do to the F7 series of ships.
So I'm not a big, I don't really know much about the Anvil F series. What is the difference between the Heartseeker and the Super Hornet?
The Heartseeker is laser. The Super Hornet is more ballistic. That's
can you swap those from the start, or does it just come kitted out right away?
It comes kitted out right away on the Heartseeker with lasers.
It's kind of like how the Saber and the Saber Comet are. They had the series, the Valiant for the Gladius. Those are the ones that have some lore built around those ships, and they built them out a certain way. So, and it's got a unique paint job on it too, which is another.
And also the turret. Not the turret. Yeah, the turret, the ball turret, is slave to pilot, and I think the normal Super Hornet, you have to swap out the thing in order to do it. Otherwise, you need someone in the second seat to handle the turret.
Mm-hmm. That is cool. Does it have fuel scoops? Is that what I'm seeing on the front there?
Nah.
That's just luck.
Big radiators.
All right, that's cool though. I've especially with Coromor, I saw a lot of people talking about this ship, and I was like, never paid attention to it. So,
Meg, do you fly this ship, or is this an old man ship? What are your feelings toward the F7 Heartseeker?
Look what he was trying to say. He's calling you old.
I don't mind. I am old. I agree.
Now, this is actually another ship that I have never flown before, but I do remember seeing it during the Valentine's event and would like to test it out. But I do like that, Fastcart said that the turret's slave to the pilot. That's one of the things I don't like about the Hurricane. So,
yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
How about the Super Hornet? Have you tried the Super Hornet?
I'm gonna say no. I feel like I have.
Okay. All right. No problem.
He's just trying to sell Anvil because he likes the Anvil shit. All right, Meg, it's on you. What we got for you now?
Yeah, so I chose the Scorpius. I originally liked the Hurricane a lot, but like we talked with the F7 Heartseeker about turrets being like slave to the pilot, I really like the Scorpius and how you can fly this ship with a partner and it'd be very beneficial. But if you were to be alone, it's just as like you can use all the turrets alone. And so I think it's, please correct me if I'm wrong, it's either on par or more powerful than the Hurricane. Yeah, I definitely love that ship for combat, mostly because I think I've talked about it before, but I don't really like doing bounties, just like fighting in general at all. So like if I do it, it's usually with a partner, and we usually use their Scorpius.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have one comment, one question. But the comment is, thank you, Lefty, for the subscription while we were gone. Appreciate it. Thank you, Lefty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But my question for Yo-Yo is, have you heard about the Scorpius Antilles that's coming out?
I did. Yes.
Any thoughts about that?
You
don't know anything about it yet? Not enough info. That's fair.
Yeah.
Not enough info.
Yeah. I think it's definitely it has the chance to be pretty OP. I'm excited to see what that's gonna look like.
I do think it's fair that I don't know what the second person in that ship is going to do anymore, but they don't have access to the guns. Like those guns are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like that does, I don't know how OP it would be if it's not, I mean, like the extra guns on that would make it a heavy fighter, right? So without that, it's more medium fighter-esque, I would think. What do you think?
I don't know. We'll have to see what they do with it. I mean, we don't, we've got some stuff that they've data mined out about the ship. The role, there is going to be a role. Right. There'll be a role for that second person. Someone was mentioning the other day about some of the new things that they're implementing gameplay wise that will make that second person, obviously that ship's designed for quantum capturing and stuff, right? And if you're piloting, there's enough to focus on with the guns and everything else on the ship and missiles. That second person in the back could be handling all of your other stuff, from scanning to the EMP to a whole bunch of other stuff. So there'll be a role for it. Let me ask you a question, about this particular ship. For a lot of people, all those old folks with gray in our hair, we got excited about this ship before it came out because when we saw the profile of it, it reminded us of the Star Wars X-Wing.
Yes.
But for you, was that a factor, or was it really, that didn't really influence you as much as when you got in the ship or saw the ship and you flew the ship? What was it for you?
No, definitely. That's the first thing I thought of. I like how they took the ship and I don't know if that's or
they gave it its own look. It's a swept wing. It's not like the regular X-Wing. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. They definitely its own look, and I love how it looks. But yeah, I didn't buy this ship, but I was very, very tempted. I try to do my best to not. I guess that sounds bad, huh?
No, spend money.
I love helping.
No.
I love helping out.
No,
that's
Cloud Imperium.
That's the right way to go.
Yep.
But yeah,
there's enough people in this game who are legatists who have spent their life savings on this.
I mean,
you don't need to be one of them.
Basically, Yo-Yo, if you spend enough time in the Star Citizen community, eventually you will become one of us. But the longer it takes, the more you can resist, the better for you.
Resist.
For sure. Yeah, but X-Wing is definitely the first thing I thought of. Gray hairs or not, Star Wars is amazing. And yeah, I definitely love that they gave it its own look. It looks like the X-Wing. I love the way that the wings expand.
That's cool. It's so cool.
They killed it. They freaking killed it.
Yeah,
I do like that when it's folded up, it looks kind of like an Aurora. Like it does have like
RSI.
It has that RSI distinct. So you can't say, oh, you just like straight up ripped off Star Wars.
Right.
Of course, an homage is fine. Yeah. But it's still very much RSI, which I think is cool.
It is. A lot of people when the ship came out, if you remember, the community said, please do not. They said, do not nerf this ship. And it's one of the first times CIG put out a post saying, we're not going to nerf the ship. And people were really happy about that, because there was a lot to look forward to with this. I think to Meg's point, there were people who felt influenced by Star Wars who saw the ship and looked forward to it, having some power, something to it. And they would have been very disappointed We know that there's nothing stable in the game right now. Everything's still going to be balanced, but I think people wanted to be able to play with this ship and feel like it really had some energy behind it or some power behind it. So I'm glad that CIG did kind of leave it where it was, which is great.
One more quick question, another quick question about the Scorpions for Meg. Are you worried that if you lose a wing, you lose firepower? Does that concern you much? Because I have that worry about the Talent Seeker.
I think, is it a total of 8 turrets or no?
8 cannons
or is
on
it
it.
6?
It's a lot.
I think if I lost 2 wings, I'd be worried maybe.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of turrets.
People, I'm gonna be funny though. Fastcart, a lot of people say that, but they're also saying it based on how the game performs now. And the armor's not in the game, right? Shields aren't balanced. And Chris has made it really clear that it's going to take a lot to destroy a ship, to take a ship apart. So I don't think that, I like right now, you know how it is right now, Fastcart, you hit something else, stuff just flies off 2 shots. I think later on, that's not going to be an aspect of something that, I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'm saying the frequency level is going to drop dramatically.
Right.
Yeah, dramatically.
And maybe that's a proper balance too. Like for a ship that as powerful as this, maybe that's something where like
a vulnerability that it needs to have.
Yeah, like it need this is something you need to make sure that when you go into an engagement with the Scorpius, you know that you're not just going to be looking for body shots. You're going to be like targeting the wings, which may take more finesse and stuff like that. So like I think it maybe is a proper balance.
Yeah.
It's a really good point.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's a really good point. Like that, I feel like with most ships, it's hard to like target certain areas. Possibly, I mean, like like the cuddies, you can target like the engines, but like if you're focusing on the wings and like you take out, potentially 2, 3, like you're literally like taking the second pilot out of being able to do anything in the fight. It's purely the pilot that's doing stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
Yeah, can I just say before we move off of combat, I know I picked the Heart Seeker, but for my honorable mission, I'm going to pick the Ares Ion.
Oh yeah.
Don't listen to Fastcart. Don't get him started.
I just wish it wasn't a boat.
Don't get him started. No, don't feed the troll, Meg. Don't feed the troll. Don't feed the troll. Okay.
He's trying to get some fire up in here.
All right.
Wow.
All right. We got 2 more categories to do here. Trading. Abdi, what have you got?
I'm not so bad.
What have you got, Abdi?
So trading, there are a lot of options if you just want to haul some big, like a lot of stuff at the same time. A lot of people would gravitate to maybe the A2, the C2 probably. But I am, or even what's that other one? The Drake one, the Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. Sorry.
So there's a lot of options for how you want to bring something from A to B, but there's something about the Freelancer series. Like it was, I think my 3rd ship, I got a regular Freelancer, but then I let go of that one, and eventually I think I ended up buying for one of the patches a Freelancer Max in game, or maybe it was a ship loaner. Actually, I think it was a ship loaner. But it paired really nicely with what I was doing with prospector mining. So I would basically prospector mine for as long as the game would let me, get as much quantanium as I could, get that into the refinery, and then I'd come back 2 days later, and I found that most of the ships that I had were just under the SCU limit for how much I could carry and actually take to Area 18 and sell. But the Freelancer Max was like always just the perfect amount for the amount of time that I was putting in. And you can get in right on the side. It's easy to get into. The C2, you have the elevator, but then you got to do, there's just doors and all that kind of stuff. But the Freelancer Max, you get in and you do your thing. Some people don't like the viewport of the Freelancer series. I don't seriously mind it. I'm not doing what I'm doing in a Gladius in a Freelancer. I'm going from A to B. It's got heavy firepower if I need to defend myself, but I'm normally nowhere near that kind of an issue. So, yeah, I take the Freelancer Max, take all my Quantanium or anything that I've mined, bring that to Area 18, and I'm good. So, love this ship.
There's a point I want to mention about what you said about this ship, and it has something to do with something else that's going to happen later in the game, which is profile. One thing, profile of the ship, in other words, its size and shape, right? Being able to get in and get out quickly, being able to get into certain locations faster and quickly. But the other thing that a lot of people, I don't think of, don't get me wrong, I don't mind us having fun with it now, but later on, taking this ship down to a planet or moon and taking a C2 is going to be tremendously different. The amount of time it takes for you to get down to the planet and out of atmosphere reduces your vulnerability in atmosphere too, versus the C2 when it has to deal with gravitational forces, when it has to do with dynamic weather and other factors, may also be another consideration. So right now, to fly this ship down to the orphanage versus flying the C2 down to an orphanage make a big difference later on when other aspects of the game are in. So I know everybody loves their C2, loves their Caterpillar, but later on, you will definitely be picking your ships based upon right tool for the right job, risk factor, all these other things. So sometimes people will dismiss these ships. They'll say, oh, I'm just going to go straight to a cat, or go to I think the only thing that's comparable to this, Fastcart, correct me if I'm wrong, would be like the Taurus, right? Something like in this area of size.
Oh, the Constellation, or the Hull A.
Or the Hull. The Constellation is just a little bit under for SCU.
Right. But I'm just saying, people ignore those ships and they just automatically want to go to the bigger, the Cat and up, and don't realize that there's a real practical reason for having these ships. Sometimes you don't need to move all that stuff because the value of what you have is a smaller level of stuff, but you want to minimize your visibility, your footprint, and all that stuff when it comes to using
you're so
ships.
right, because it's also like insurance costs.
Oh yeah. Operational cost
for how much to refuel. Like, do you want to take like a super carrier if all you're bringing is like 96 SCU and you're not even putting other ships on there and stuff like that? Right. No, like just
you gotta roll. You gotta roll like a boss. What you talking about?
He's gonna put like spinners, spinning rims on it.
Bling and all that.
All right. Well, speaking of rolling like a boss, Fastcart, for you for trading, what will be your optimal pick? I don't know if we have to ask, but we'll go ahead and ask anyway.
I think I gave this serious thought because there's a difference between hauling and trading. If it was hauling, I would have said how haul B, but you specifically said trading, so I said, hey, this is a ship specifically made for trading and selling stuff. So the banning merchantmen, and don't worry, everybody. This is my 2 quota limit, so I'm reaching my limit. So you won't have to hear about the banning merchantmen anymore. But yes, what was trading? This is what this ship was made for, and the concept was in 2013. I came in 2014. I was like, oh, this is the perfect stuff for me for what I had in mind for my career. So yeah, the banning merchantmen, even though it did get bigger and it's going to be huge when it officially comes out. So it won't be something that I'll be, taking small stuff, small cargo with. I definitely kit it out for, bigger hauls or bigger trades whenever I plan for it. But yeah, the banning merchantmen for trading.
Okay. Is there? Let me ask you a question.
I would be so. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm just saying. I would be excited to have a storefront on the Banu Merchantman with all the stuff that I, refined and maybe actually.
Oh, you're welcome to sell stuff on my Banu Merchant as long as I get a cut.
Just don't steal it.
Well, that's the whole point. That, and if I don't steal the soap from the bathrooms or something like
that. I mean, we will have security cameras, so I think it'll be fine in that respect.
What were you gonna say, Meg?
No, I was just gonna say as long as you don't steal anything.
Now, let me ask you another question, though, Fastcart, because you did talk about the fact that this ship has grown over time. If there was something else that you would use for trading other than this, maybe because you just say, I don't need to have all of that to do this particular thing, is there another ship that's on a smaller scale that you would consider using for trade?
The Mercury Starliner.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Mercury Starliner.
Cool. Okay, Yo-Yo, it's on you. What you
sure.
got for your trading ship you're thinking about?
Yeah, I actually chose the Carrack, but I really feel like I should have chose the Mercury because I don't know if it probably doesn't count as trading, but my smuggling of drugs. But yeah, like I actually do
Trading drugs. That's fine.
But the Carrack,
No,
yeah,
you
I
don't
chose
say
this-
drugs on this channel.
I'm so sorry.
Don't listen.
We say botanicals for botanicals.
Botanicals.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't listen to
Yeah, but-
Fastcart. You say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, chose the Carrack just because it's pretty big, has plenty of room. A lot of people can be on it. Some good amount of protection. It's got a regen point, and yeah, I don't know. I don't do a lot of trading and didn't really plan on doing a lot of trading. So yeah, my choice might not be the best, but Carrack.
I wouldn't say it's not the best. One reason why is because, you know, a lot of people are losing a lot of ships right now just because the ships don't do necessarily what they're supposed to be doing, right? And a lot of stuff in the Carrack, all the science and exploration side of it isn't there. You know, the drone room's not working, cartography's not working, the repair shop's not working, but the cargo containers aren't working. But what does work for it is that you can transport stuff and you can have a complement crew of people there to help you. And it's a tanky ship, right? So if you're trying to protect whatever it is you're selling, you can take hits and not worry about getting blown up so easily, right? And the other thing is, we don't really know what you're carrying in that ship. You know, I mean, if I'm thinking of it as an explorer, but you out there, you know, doing your, I don't know, your, you know, I don't, what was I going to say? Yeah. I was trying to figure out their pusher man kind of stuff out there. You know, I'm not going to think you're doing it in a Carrack. DK Wildcat, thank you so much for that resub. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a market out there for human meat bars.
Yeah.
Might just look into it.
There you go. There you go. Right. Oh God, she's going to be doing human meat bars. Okay. So, yeah. You guys got any thoughts, Abdi or Fastcart, about her picking the Carrack at all?
It's not something I would have picked. That's taken out of the box for me. So, but, hey, it could work. Yeah.
I mean, like that. It has like 300. How much SEU? It has a ton of space.
That's a lot. I have to look it up.
Yeah. So I feel like it's a great option. I feel like it often gets overlooked, not because it's a bad choice, but because it can do so much. And I think someone else said that here. The rhyme. They said the same thing. Carrack gives you a lot of other options along the way, and I think that's 100% true. You can put your C8R in here if you want to, and you can bring your friends along with, and I think that's a great option. I think we didn't talk about this, but the reason why I got my freelancer when I did was because of the 4 seats in the cockpit. And I was like, I'm going to bring my friends to play this game with me, and I want them to help me trade. And I think the Carrack is exactly the same on that. Like,
let's say the right thing. You ain't trying to get them to help you trade. You want to carry them boxes. That's what you're talking about. Just call it for what it is. Call it for what it
Steal all
is.
the soap bars.
Yeah, it's all
manual labor.
Listen, anytime Abdi tells you, "Hey guys, come along and bring your tractor beam while you're with you," you know, then you know what the deal is. Okay.
I'll provide the tractor.
Don't forget your
beams, but they gotta do the
multi-tool.
work.
Don't forget your multi-tool. Yeah, okay. No.
I will say, if you're buying a ship straight out between the BMM and the Carrack, I would probably go for the Carrack. I'm sorry, I would go for the BMM for trading. But if you buy in game, the BMM is going to be much harder to find because of all the lore and everything in there. So if you join in game and you have the ISK, not ISK. Yeah, yeah. For in-game current. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Eve. UEC for buying the money. The character probably be better in game, but if you're spending real money, I say BMM.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense.
All right. We've got 2 more categories. Actually, we have one more official one. Then we have one unofficial one when we crashed. That Meg suggested that we're going to try and fit into this with our time. So hopefully
they're actually the same for me.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. All right. So let's go into this next category. Abdi, this is on you. What have you got for us for your touring leisure vehicle?
Okay, so I'm a little embarrassed about this pick. It's not like the beauty ship or whatever, you know. It's not like this is what you're gonna get served anything in because it's it's a solo ship. But if you're talking about leisure and if you're talking about touring and like what those actually are, just like going somewhere and looking around and doing all of that, one of the coolest things to me in this game is the fact that this Merlin can dock to a Constellation series. It feels good to like have a ship that can actually dock. I know that there's a bug right now in 3.18 where you can't interact with it, but let's pretend that's not happening. But every time I'm in a Merlin, I feel like I'm going to get clapped. Is that what? Well, that's the thing. We're not talking about combat. We're not talking about anything other than, let's say, like you take your Constellation, park it above, in Atmo or above Atmo somewhere, and you just want to take your tiny little Merlin and you want to fly around a jungle and see the sights. Like that's kind of something that, I don't know, something about that sounds really cool to me. It's got a great cockpit for being able to see everything around you. It's just like, it's small. You can't quantum, which is fine. That's what the Constellation is for. But yeah, if you want to give somebody a tour of a place, or if you want to say, hey friend, like, you want to check out this planet, hop into the Merlin, go down to the planet and see what you want to see. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is, and Lefty, you brought up the other choice. The 85X was my other, it has an amazing cockpit, but the fact that it doesn't dock to the Constellation, I feel like it's something about that docking to me feels next level. I don't know. Something about that feels really cool.
I have a question. Why'd you pick the Merlin and not the Archimedes?
So this is a problem that I have. You can't, right now, as of now, people will be watching this in YouTube in the future where you will be able to, but right now, you can't say when you buy a Constellation, I would like my Constellation to come with an Archimedes.
Unless you get the Phoenix, yeah.
Unless you get the Phoenix, which I'm not going to get. That's too much ship for me. That's not what I'm looking for. But if I was able to, I would say the Archimedes. If I was able to swap out, when I purchased my Constellation package, say Constellation with Archimedes, I would say that. Because honestly, I wish I could. This is the kind of ship that I would buy in game, like the Archimedes or the Merlin is something that like you don't want to spend your money like on that small and that of a ship that you can easily buy in game. So, yeah.
I want to go back and emphasize something you said, Abdi, too, about touring leisure, because when these ships came out, one of the things that people felt a certain way about was that they didn't have quantum drives. And if they didn't have quantums, that just automatically scratched them off the list. And at the time, I understood it because people wanted to be able to explore, diverse. But now with the plethora of ships that we have and the fact that we do have docking, because this ship sat on the back of a Connie for literally
a long time.
People just got to stare at it and wish that it worked, right? You can go, that was it. But this ship is great. First of all, it's fast, it's zippy. It's good for reconnaissance. It is good for when you get from planet to surface up to your ship or to, it's very fast. I mean, even if you don't quantum jump, it's still fast getting in and out of atmosphere. But if you want to just do some sightseeing in this thing, zoom through canyons, a whole lot of other stuff in it.
This is the ship.
It is the ship, and it's inexpensive, and it's very cool, handles very well. So yeah, don't feel funny about this ship. Don't let that quantum thing throw you off, gang. Think about what these ships are for. Think about what they're for and what you can do with them when you're out there by yourself. So I think it's a great ship. Anybody else got anything about this one? The P-52? No? Okay. FC, we'll go to you then. What you got?
Yeah, Griff, I know the answer that you have on the screen, but I'm just going to change my answer to the Constellation Phoenix because it's baller. No, I'm kidding. It pains me to say this. You have no idea how much it pains me to say this. Why does it pain you to say yes, I said the 600i, but I'm going for the gold standard 600i, not the current 600i we have in the game, okay? I'm going the future 600i. Because I don't know if you have that picture, but the gold standard, they did an IRC about it 3 months ago. The concept, the new concepts and everything look great on that, and it's not a ship that I don't mind taking my muddy boots on. So I'm looking forward to the gold standard of the 600i.
I like this picture.
But for
touring and leisure,
touring specifically,
I'm serious. Yeah, this is perfect.
For the for touring specifically, it had the big windows, the sunroof, and the roof, the glass on the bottom called a moon roof, or just a window.
It's just like that's like a glass bottom boat window. I don't know that thing on the bottom.
Yeah, so yeah, it had that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the gold standard of 600i when it comes to it. What?
That's for freaking whale watching, man. You're gonna be in Orison. You're gonna be looking out that window.
Don't get me started. No, don't get me started. Don't get me started, Meg. Don't get me started about these ships supposed to be able to go in the water too. Do not get me started. Don't get me started. CIG knows I've been saying that for the longest time. These ships are supposed to be able to land on the water. That's what I'm thinking, but we'll see. We'll see. No, listen, guys. Wait. Please don't misquote me, y'all. I'm saying they're supposed to be. I'm not saying CIG is saying that. I'm saying I would love the design of these so that you can actually land on water in them. I think they'd be fabulous. That's just,
that would be cool.
Yeah, it would be. All right, Meg, what you got?
600i for me.
Okay. Meg, what you got?
Yeah, I think the 600i is probably a better choice, but I did the 400 just because I wanted a different ship on the list. I think it's smaller than the 600. It's just for like ease of atmospheric travel, maybe. But honestly, I want to say the A1 Spirit would be my actual choice if it were in game.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good trick. The E1, right?
Yeah, E1.
Is it? My bad. E1.
Yeah,
executive.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. But you know
we
what?
Saw a sneak peek of that in the last. We saw a sneak peek of that in the last ISC.
Yeah, but you know what? It's interesting that she picked this though for touring leisure, because even though this is considered an explorer, it does have a very relaxed feel to it. When you go to the back of the ship, it's got like a dining area. Even though the cartography area is back there, it doesn't feel science-y, for lack of a better term. I don't know how to put it in a different term, but it feels
you're right.
Very relaxed feel. The cabins are there when you come through. The crew cabins, the captain's cabin right across from each other. I mean, and to me, it's like a chill ship. I hate to say that. Even in the commercial, it's kind of when it's flying around, it looks very chill when it's flying around.
You know,
private yacht.
It kind of reminds me of that ship from like Star Wars Episode 2, the one that like the diplomats from Naboo or something
Naboo
like that.
Ship,
It kind of reminds me of that. Like this is something that you could like take a diplomat in to go from like from
wow,
like
an executive version of that would be kind of cool. All right, CIG, need a 500i executive version. Okay.
This is the politician career.
That would be cool.
I am still looking forward to the 400, to the 404, the invisible one. I'm looking forward to that.
That's not going to happen.
You know what? You probably already own one. Just look for that empty space in your hangar.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. That's an interesting pick, Meg. Both of those, both the Crusader one you mentioned and this one as well. Because I when you picked this, I didn't think about it, but I again, this picture popped in my head when I saw it on your list. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a chill ship to go out and relax in. Okay, guys.
I almost legit want to change my answer for real to the E1 now. Almost. Go ahead.
Well, we don't know.
Abby.
Well, not to be funny, the E1 is a transport ship. Let's be realistic, though. It's about taking 6 passengers somewhere. So how chill it's going to be toward touring and leisure, we don't know just yet. But I think it could be. Don't get me wrong, could be. But anyway, we've got one more category, guys. I know our time is running here a little over, but I think it's a valid category, and hopefully the panel has had time to think about this, because we did just kind of spontaneously come up with this. And that topic happened to be sound design, audio design. What ship, to you, when you're flying in it, the sound design in it, the way it rumbles, the way whatever it is, the doors opening, whatever, really kind of resonates with you. So we don't have a label for it. So I will change this one. And Abdi, I'm going to go ahead and start with you on this. Hopefully you had some time to come up with something.
Yeah, I was trying to think about this. I feel like I recently saw a ship on a stream, and what stream was it that I was watching, and what ship was it? There was something about the way that I don't know if it was the Banu Defender or something.
Oh,
that had
yeah.
like a very unique takeoff sound.
Yeah, it's got its own sound for sure.
Yep,
Yeah.
you know what? I think I was watching a Citizen Kate video, and she was doing some Orison orbital platform bunker mission kind of stuff, and somebody randomly came down in one of those, and like they were like, "Oh, that's a Banu Defender" or something like that. There's a Banu Defender around. Someone knew exactly what it was just from the sound.
Yep.
And as much as we talk about the profile of a ship or the silhouette of a ship having a very recognizable shape, and that being kind of a successful trait of a ship, I think having a successful like audio profile is important too. I think that is a really unique thing.
Okay, Banu Defender. All right.
I don't know.
Anybody got any else
people
thought
saw me
about it?
typing. Yeah, I don't know if people saw me typing when Abdi before Abby responded, but she stole my answer. I was gonna take advantage of it. She stole my answer.
Really?
Yeah, the sound design, and I mean, yeah, not just the sound design, especially because it's different from all the stuff when you're into quantum and the green and everything. So not just the sound design, the visual aspect too. But yeah, they had a unique sound, and yeah, I'm looking forward to how the Regiment will sound, but based on the Defender. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned about quantum.
Make it 3, the first 3 out of 3.
I'm glad you said that though about the quantum, because the quantum effect is definitely unique in it too. It does have its own sound.
You can see that from like being on a planet, right? You can see that green streak go by or something.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Meg, what about you? What's your pick for sound design?
Well, it's the no, I'm just kidding. It's honestly, I'm sorry, guys. I honestly don't know if I know the ship. I think it's the Cutlass. It's one of the ships that sounds like a boat whenever you're speeding up. It might be the Carrack. I want to say it's the Cutlass though.
Could it be the Cutlass in VTOL or something like that?
No, it's like it sounds heavy.
Do that again.
Well, I mean, no, the Carrack does definitely have like that sound when you're taking off in a Carrack. Are you sure?
It might be the Carrack.
Yeah, it could be the Carrack, because like, especially if you're like trying to like move, like make quick movements.
It might be the Carrack.
Yeah.
It's the Carrack. Yeah, it just sounds so demonic.
I do like the idea of hearing the stress of the ship when you're trying to make it do things that it's not supposed to do.
That's probably it. Yeah. It's probably the Carrack trying to get out of Atmo. I think it's what I'm thinking about.
I
like that.
I'm not joking around when I say that. I'm looking forward to how a ship will sound when you go to a jump point, to navigating through. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like legit, the first time I go through a jump point, I'm gonna hook up my computer to my 4K TV and turn off all the lights, turn up the Dolby surround sound, and I'm just
take it all in.
I want the house to shake.
Take it all in. Let me say this about sound design for these, and I know we kind of identified, with the Banu, you could hear the engines, and we talked about the sound when it's in quantum. The Carrack, she was talking about when you're taking off and when you boost the engines. But the sound design for both of these ships is really incredible. And it's funny, there's a lot of things I think people miss in the game because we're always so busy going to do, and we don't catch certain things and we don't get to appreciate the work. When you're walking through a Carrack, when you first come on board, if you're walking through the technical deck, it has a certain sound, even walking on the metal floors when you're walking through. When you come to the habitation deck, the sound is different there. There's the sound of oxygen circulating around you that's going on. When you go to the cartography area, it's a different quietness in that area. The Banu ships are the same way. When I've ridden in the back of a Defender, and when you're in the back of the Defender as a passenger, there's certain sounds you hear back there that's going on. So I think that, the sound design, and of course we could talk about weapons and, when doors open and close, when ramps go up and down, there's all these unique sounds. And I think that sometimes it's so easy to miss it because one of the things about doing something that's intuitive or making something intuitive is that because it's what we do normally, we don't think about it anymore. And so when you open a ramp, you don't think about the sound of the ramp. You just know that there's supposed to be a sound. And what they say about good sound design is that when it doesn't stand out like that, that means you've done it well. But it's also easy to not recognize the amount of work that's gone into that level of sound design in these ships, so that something doesn't sound like it doesn't fit. You know what I mean? It actually sounds like this big ramp on the Carrack is supposed to sound like that when it's, you know, when it's coming out. You know what I mean? Or if it's a Drake ship, it's supposed to rattle a little bit. You know, there's all these dynamics. When you're in the Origin ship, there's no sound. Okay, so I'm just being funny, y'all. There's sound in the Origin ship. So
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but when I open the ramp, I'm trying to make sure I'm listening to see if my character starts to suffocate. Because sometimes I just forget to put my helmet on.
Honestly,
that's another form of sound design. I guess you should have to worry about, right? Yeah, absolutely.
I think my wife was in the room one time when I forgot that, and she was like, "Oh my god, that is a terrible sound to listen to." And I'm like, "Man, it was bad for me too." Like,
that's funny. It's like, "Oh my god, are you choking over there?" Right?
Yeah, I know, right? yoyoMeg brought up this audio thing though. Seriously, that was a good call.
Yeah, it was, Meg. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay,
absolutely.
Well, we have hit every target on the mark today, so thank you guys. I hope you all. Thank you guys for hanging out. I know we had the technical jump earlier, but thank you guys for sticking around with us. Thank you for all the great stuff that you guys put into chat too. Don't forget, you guys.
Are we doing a Q&A or are we going to skip that?
Oh yeah, I got to still do that. Yeah. Don't forget our merchandise since I got it running already. If you guys are interested in getting the merchandise from Soul Citizens, we've got some cool new shirts and a whole bunch of other cool stuff on it, particularly on the Streamlabs page. So check that out when you get time. Fastcart just reminded me that we do have some questions. Because I did see that there was at least
just one question.
Just one. Okay, that's the one I saw earlier. Could you read it for me, please? Because I can't talk.
Yeah, no problem. So from Parking Space, what ship do you dislike now, if any, and what could CIG do for you to make you love it?
Abdi, which ship do you just not like in the game?
Maybe this is a cop-out answer, but the same ship that I love so much, the Harbinger, we already talked about this, is the same ship that I wish that they would just make it a little bit better. Put some more torps in the Harbinger, man, please. Like, what do I gotta do? Like, you want me to send you more money? I'll send you more. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Like, just seriously, they put more torps on that, and then I don't feel embarrassed talking about the Harbinger as much as I do, but I would feel more proud. That's for sure.
Okay. All right. FC, what about you? What ship that you just don't like that they need to definitely go back and do something to make you look at it again?
My answer is kind of a cop-out answer because they actually did went back and fixed it. But for the longest time, I don't have any ships I hate. Let's get that clear. I don't have any ships that I really hate. I think CIG should get rid of it, take it out of the game, and just throw it out and forget it. No, I don't have any feelings about, like that for any ship. But the ship that was my least favorite or the Cutlass Black specifically, the old version before they redesigned it. And to answer Pop's question, what could CIG to make you love it? I don't really love it now, but the redesign really improved that ship for me because I don't know what it was about the old Cutlass, which just didn't do anything for me, but the redesign is pretty good. But as far as anything now, I don't really have any ships that I have that made me feel like the way the Cutlass did.
Fastcart, you brought up the Cutlass, and now that you brought up the Cutlass, you reminded me about the Cutlass Steel.
Ah, there you go. What can CID do to make you love that ship?
It's so expensive for being what it is, and I don't know if it really has a valid place in the verse right now. I know we need more drop ships. I don't know.
So in order to fix it for you, they need to change the price. Is what you're saying?
The price.
I think it would help.
Okay.
I think it would help.
Okay. Fair enough.
I just thought of the answer for Pop's question. The Ares Ion. They can unnerf it. That's what CIG could do. They could unnerf the Ares Ion. Then I would love this ship.
The Ares Ion is a work in progress. Hopefully.
Thank you. Meg, what about you? Is there any ship in there that you just don't even want to look at, or you're not crazy about, but you think they should work on?
I think the Cuddy Red not having the spawn points anymore. Either the spawn points or I think it's the spawn points. So like I understand and I like that it's only in the Carrack right now. But I kind of want a spawn point maybe in a slightly bigger ship, like in between the Carrack and the Cuddy Red. That does have a spawn point. So I don't know if like the Apollo or anything is going to have that, but
let's give you some hope on what's going to happen with that, okay? Because I know you're still new, and it's so many ships. It's hard to know which ships are going to do what. So the C8R that you have and the Red are going to have what they call the Tier 1 beds, which is the basically very minor injuries. They're like ambulances, right? That's all they're there for, to get you stabilized and get you in. But there are going to be some Tier 2s. The Carrack will have a Tier 2. The 890 Jump has a Tier 2. The 600I is getting a Tier 2 as well. And when you start getting into other ships like the medical ships, like you mentioned about the Apollos, those are going to have Tier 2s that can be upgraded up to a Tier 1, which is a hospital type bed. Okay. The Endeavor will have a full hospital in it with beds that it will work just like Tier 1s, like a regular hospital at a landing zone. And then the newest ship, the Galaxy, will also have Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 beds in it. So there are going to have some ships that will have, that's the one ship that will have all three. The Apollo can be modified to have a Tier 1. And then the Carrack, the 600, and the 890 will have Tier 2 beds. And those are for severe injuries.
You forgot about the Odyssey.
The Odyssey. The Odyssey is it Tier 2 in the Odyssey?
Yep.
Okay. Tier 2 in the Odyssey.
And Griffin, you forgot one ship that also had a medical bed. You remember? The BMM had a medical bed. You will have one anyway. I don't know what tier it's going to be. I forget what tier it's going to be.
Tier 4. All right. So, yeah. Let me throw mine in for a ship that I would love to see them redo. And I like this ship, actually. It is the Aurora. Some of you all have seen this. Someone in the community did a modified version of what the Aurora would look like if the wings folded out, like the Scorpius.
Scorpius. Yeah.
I would love to see CIG put that modification into the final version of that ship. They've already done one upgrade to it, but if they were to add that so that it looked like a fighter, that wing configuration came out just like it does on the Scorpius, I would think it would be fabulous, but I don't know if they'll ever do that. So
I do wish the Constellation series with the flight mechanic would be better, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's so much more to balance. You know what I mean? It may get better later on, so we'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
We have hit everything. We are over our time. Let's talk about what we got coming up. So, Abdi, it's on you, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be talking about Soul Voices, which is
Soul Talk.
Soul Talk.
I'm Soul Talk.
I'm Soul
Oh,
Talk.
you're Soul Talk. I'm sorry, Abdi. It's Fastcart. I got us out of order. You know what? I'm looking at the lineup. I'm sorry. My apologies. Fastcart, it's on you.
It's the gray hair, folks. It's the gray hair.
Yeah,
you've been making that joke with me all night, so I get them back now. So Soul Talk is on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UTC. That's when we come talk to the Star Citizen community about the Star Citizen community. We cover the SCL and the ISC and Machinima and whatever else is going on that week. So check us out on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UTC.
Okay. Abdi?
Soul Voices is our Saturday show at 3 p.m. ET. It's very similar to Soul Talk, but instead of talking just about the news of the week, we're getting into Spectrum and Reddit to talk about what has been going on in the Star Citizen community in those areas. And if you know anything about Spectrum and Reddit, then you know that can be a fiery subject. Lots of opinions there. So come on by on Saturdays at 3 p.m. ET.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the player haters make a comeback.
Yeah, I know. They gotta get themselves together. They've been on vacation since the holidays. So I'm talking about Thanksgiving. Since Thanksgiving. So it's been a long time since they've been around. Abdi, are you streaming tonight or no?
I'm not streaming tonight.
Okay,
I'm going to be starting my stream back up again in March.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before I went any further with that. Yo-Yo.
Thank you, though. I appreciate you talking about that. I am going to be returning to streaming.
Before we get there, I'm going to let you guys do announcements about streams in 2 seconds. Let me get Yo-Yo get on next Sunday's show.
Okay. Yeah, so next Sunday is going to be Making Modularity. We're going to be talking about all the ships that we're looking forward to that are modular in the game, like the Caterpillar and the Galaxy.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, since we do have our streamers on here tonight, Abdi, why don't you talk about yours and what's coming up, and then Yo-Yo, you can let folks know what's happening with you.
Heck yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So again, AbdiYohan here. You can find me at AbdiYohan on Twitter and Twitch. But I am returning to streaming. I took a little bit of a hiatus after my daughter was born because the sleep issues were real, and she's got her sleep figured out now. So I'm happy to get back into it. I stream Star Citizen, but I also put a little bit of my spin on it. I'm an illustrator. So what I do is I have a little drawing tablet that I use here. I hook that up to Star Citizen, and I make it look as if I'm illustrating while in game. So that's my thing. So
cool.
Come on by. It's a chill stream. So feel free to come on by and follow me there.
What day is it again? What days are you going to be doing it?
So I'm going to be doing it on Sundays after Soul Citizens, but you'll never see Soul Citizens raid me because I'd rather promote other people off the other shows.
Well, see, when we're on this part of the show, you're supposed to be firing up your computer so that we can raid you.
Right.
So just make sure that you do that. That's all you got to do.
Exactly. I feel like that wouldn't work.
That's all you got to do. Meg, what about you?
Yeah, I'll probably be starting up my streams again the week after this coming week. So it might be March too. I don't possibly. Sorry, Abdi. We're gonna be doing it at the same time. That being said, if you ever want to play games together, always down.
We should. Yeah, let's play Star Citizen together. That'd be super fun.
Heck yeah. But yeah, you can find me on Twitch at yoyoMeg, and maybe find me and Abdi playing together. But yeah, I don't really do anything crazy special. I kind of try to do just some random stuff, like stuff Griffin and Fastcart would not be proud of. But yeah, if that's your cup of tea, come through. We might just try to fit as many mules in the Mercury that we can.
I've watched Meg plenty of times. Yes, they have fun. Her and her friends have a lot of fun.
I remember the first time we raided yoyoMeg, and I was like, "Yo, this is like a hilarious and extremely fun place to be." So, like, yeah, if y'all like a good time, definitely hit up yoyoMeg.
And I want to say thank you for the soccer job, for the subscription, the gift subscription to yoyoMeg, and also remind people that we have an anniversary show coming up. Griffin, you wanted me to remind you about that?
I was about to talk about it. Yep, there it is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, gang, we are celebrating our 3rd year streaming. Woohoo! Believe it or not, it's been 3 years. And
they said it wouldn't last.
They said it wouldn't last. Yeah, we had to prove them wrong, right? So Sunday, March the 5th, 8 p.m. Eastern. As you guys know, we always invite all of our cast to come on board and talk and just have fun. Talk about what's happened in the past, talk about what's happening in the future. So we really hope you guys can join us on Sunday, March the 5th, for our anniversary show. And that's the name of that tune. I want to give a special thanks to AbdiYohan and to Fastcart and to Yo-Yo for sharing their in-depth secrets about their ships, all their love for their ships that they enjoy in the Star Citizen universe. Thank you guys once again for hanging out with us tonight, especially with the technical difficulties. Thank you for all the comments in the chat. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for the follows. And we look forward to seeing you guys real soon. And I think that's about it. We're going to send you guys over to hang out with our good friends over at Starjump. Starjump Grim is on board right now with the Starjump team. Check them out when you get there. Show them some love. If you like what you see, make sure you follow them. Let them know you came over from the Soul Citizens. And that's about it. You guys stay safe. Take care of yourself. Until next week, peace, love, and soul. We'll see you soon. Peace out.